Hey,
The first few minutes
look at that.
Hey, I was trying to watch that at home.
Should I try this again? Get us started?
Sure.
Hey, everybody, this is Steve, and you're listening to the Flounders B-Team Podcast. How is everybody doing today? That is really loud. We're going to take that. Woo! Woo, calm down. All right, take that down just a squish, and then this should be number 1 because it's on the left. So we'll take that down. Look at that.
Watch that at home.
Should I try this again? Get us started? Sure. Hey, everybody, this is Steve, and you're listening to the Flounders B-Team Podcast. How is everybody doing today? That is really loud. We're going to take that.
Screaming goat.
Woo, calm down.
What, you can't hear that?
All right, take that down just a scoop. And then this should be number 1 because it's on the left.
YouTube.
Yeah. So we'll take that down.
Look at that. Watch that at home.
Should I try this again? Get us started? Hey, everybody, this is Steve, and you're listening to the Flounders B-Team Podcast. How is everybody doing today? That is really loud. We're going to take that.
Screaming goat.
And again.
Double, yeah.
And again. Yeah. So please don't monitor YouTube on that phone while you're typing audio. Yes. All right, everybody.
All right, so I'm not watching us anymore. We
Turn
just
that
lost
down.
the watcher.
Turn your output
No,
down
you
a little
turn
bit.
yourself
Jesus,
down.
Captain. God. That's better. Yeah, it's a little quiet.
Yeah, we still got 2
There you go.
members, so
You should. Pwamp, pwamp.
somebody else is watching.
Nice.
Hey!
Can you touch it and see if there's anybody on there?
Oh, hey, everybody. Let's see who's watching. Live commentary on who joined. That is awesome. All right, everybody.
Mrs. Jacobson is going to bring in some chocolate milk into the cafeteria this afternoon. So for you kids that didn't get any, don't worry.
It's still a quarter. It's going to be 35 cents next week because
She's
the
on her way.
prices are going up. But there you go. Hey, everybody, this is Steve. You're listening to the Flounders B-Team Podcast. We'll introduce again since we didn't have audio. This is why we're doing a dry run, I tell you what. In studio, of course, we got Tim Hamilton, Muffin Top Model, my man, my cohort, my partner in crime, my reason for living. I love you, man.
Oh,
Aww.
Not a dry eye in the house.
And, of course, next to him is Rod Gooner.
what's up?
It's a highly professional organization here. Waydays Chris. How you doing, Chris? Do you go by anything else?
Whatever you'd like to call me is just fine.
Stop with the goats. What are you doing?
All right, fine. All right.
Whatever I want to call you, huh? All right.
Oh, wait. All right, so do you...
Bruh.
Wade did Chris on Twitter.
Correct.
Muffin Top Model on Twitter. Do you use Twitter?
Yeah, Rod Gunner 79.
Right, go to 79.
Podfish.
That's Steve. Anyone that's ever... No one's going to accidentally turn this thing on.
Right.
So
exactly.
you and I
Whoopsie.
don't need to introduce it. These two. It's all about you two.
Yep. And it's also about Nerd Farm Pod, Channel 253, another show coming out tomorrow. So check it out. Nate from Tacoma is not here, but at that goat, you're killing me, Smalls.
I'm going to keep it ready.
Killing me, Smalls. I could turn you off. That could work out.
You can't turn me off.
Oh.
I'm always on.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Brown cow. All right. So we were talking about, before we turned the sound on, we were talking, hey, no, we don't have a sign language interpreter, unfortunately,
not.
no ASL. But we're talking about preseason and yesterday's match against San Jose Earthquakes.
No, it looked good.
Yeah,
The field...
generally.
I don't know
Field was
how
terrible.
California field could be so, like, what felt like slush,
It looked
slushy
and gross, yeah.
I used
Cue
the...
the grass is always better, guys.
Yeah, that's why I was dripping with sarcasm. That thing played like pudding skin. I used the word pudding skin. So
Ugh, you say that and it.
if you leave pudding out, if you leave the pudding outside with the Jello pudding pie, no,
Everybody was slipping and sliding everywhere.
It was nasty.
sliding
Yeah,
into
and,
my DMs.
You know, so do we have any update on Adam Smith?
Brad
Smith? Adam Smith.
Hey, this is Steve Kettleson. Hi.
Adam Smith, the supply side economist from the 1800s. Brad Smith. So I thought I saw towards the end that he.
I'm glad this is on video. You get the. He's a
preemptively
tough
pulled.
kid. He's a tough kid.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Nothing. Nowhere.
There was a tweet this morning saying that it was precautionary.
Precautionary
He
pull.
wasn't really hurt. Yeah, he just wanted
That's
to make
good.
sure, next first game of the season next
He had a
week.
little quad
he just
tightness?
wanted to-
Yeah. He should be out maybe 2 or 3 years.
yeah.
Well,
He'll
what's
be
the
back in
long-term
Bournemouth when he comes back.
What's the long-term prognosis for Brad Smith with the Sounders? I mean, do we think he's going to be out in the summer window as soon as EPL starts?
I thought that he was going to be gone when
January window.
Yeah, in the January window, because Bournemouth had some injury issues, and I thought they were going to pull the chain and yank him back.
Yeah.
He's not even third string over there, so I think he should stay.
But I think some people in Bournemouth that they didn't expect to either A, be good, or B, still have, or whatever, allowed him to be surplus units or whatever. So
Yeah, I think he should stay here for his career's sake. You know, he could probably play regularly here, probably sit on the bench over there, or go back on loan. I don't know. I think Seattle suits him fine
I mean, he could be a star here or a guy in the EPL.
in the EPL. Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot better, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's tons better.
I like him. I mean, everyone has holes in their game.
I mean, he's
His is defense.
He's one of those defenders that can play defense, but is essentially an attacker that plays in the back.
All right. Fantastic. So, any other good stuff in preseason? Yesterday's game was pretty illustrative of where we're at, maybe. I thought I saw Jordan Morris kind of flopping around. Not flopping around. He was moving fast.
Everyone was losing their footing, but
he's all arms and legs. But that great play where, I thought he was pushing way too far forward. But what do I know, right? Because he pops, goes all the way to the baseline, and manages to get a ball out of double coverage to Victor Rodriguez right at the 6-yard box, and he slots it right in. So that was a fantastic play, great opportunity to kind of showcase what things are possible here. And okay, Wondolowski scored 2 PKs. Who really gives a shit in a preseason match, right? We showed what we could do in a lot of ways. What are the highlights for you guys?
I thought it was, the first half was, they held their own. It was like the first time we actually got to see the full, what probably going to be the starting lineup next week, and I think they did fine. They weren't pushing hard, like their pace was, still preseason, but you could see more how they're going to be playing next Saturday. So I thought that, Morris did fine, dude. Like he's got his speed and a few more games that he can do well up there with Raul. They can switch like they did with Nico. I think it's gonna be really what do you call it? What's that word? Word the parts work. Kind of interchangeable parts, and and it's gonna be fun to watch, dude. We're gonna have an exciting forward line.
That should be a lot of fun. It should be a fun season. It should be stressful, which is great. I mean, frankly, I don't mind a little stress in my soccer season. Right, because it keeps the drama up, keeps people interested. If we're on the cusp of something, if we always feel like we're on the cusp of something, it's going to be a lot of fun. I am a little bit worried about depth. Anybody else have concerns there? It's kind of a little preview of next week. Our show tomorrow, but
I mean, we've looked at from top to bottom. We looked at the roster a whole bunch of different times. It depends on what formation we want to roll out and what we're trying to accomplish. Goalkeeper, we look good. Center backs, I mean, we've got Tim
we look
Keehee.
good with one goalkeeper. How's Brian Meredith doing?
He's serviceable. I mean,
Okay.
I will trust him for a half.
He is an MLS backup.
Yeah.
Which is not a diss, but that's what he is.
And to be honest, the other MLS career backups are all retiring. Like Mitch, whatever his name is, I don't want to say Hedberg, but the guy.
Rest in peace.
The one that was in Cincinnati went to Atlanta. He just retired. He was a pool player. But I mean, just like one of those things, like you can make 60, 70 grand, or you can enter the private sector and maybe buy a house or not. I don't know. It just if you're fine, Zach Scott wasn't going to get rich playing this game, but his wife was probably the breadwinner. And he was able to do what he loves, and he admitted it. He said, "I can't, I couldn't have done it without her." So
Sure.
Okay, so backup goalkeeper. I don't think Muse is there yet. I think he's raw, and hopefully, Tommy Dutra gets into him, and
Hell of a goalkeeper
Starting
coach, right?
Defiance goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
You're out of beer. Do you need another
My
one?
God in heaven.
My glass is broken.
Uh-oh.
All the boost fell out of it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
We'll get you a glass.
I mean, left back, we've got Brad Smith as long as he's healthy. We've got Nuhu, and then who's after that? Is McCrary a left-sided
I
player?
thought he was right, but
I think
I think he played on the left
Yacht
last
Khan,
season.
he said he maybe played the whole left side in college and then moved over to the
I
right.
mean, McCrary is not spectacular at anything.
Right.
So he's pretty interchangeable,
Mm-hmm.
and he's probably makes, $18.50 an hour too. So
Whatever minimum wage is in Tukwila.
yeah, 14. I don't know.
I thought he did play on the left last season. Maybe I might be
That
wrong.
might have
He
been
get
Francis.
switched
Francis.
over,
Yeah.
and he's gone, right?
Francis
He
is
went
gone.
To,
Because
Back
Leardom
to-
Costa Rica.
Back to Columbus, please.
Columbus.
Yeah. We basically got what we paid for him, so we're at like a net zero.
Hey, we got another watcher.
Uh-oh.
Holy S.
Yeah, somebody's going to criticize us.
Oh no. I've been yelled at before.
So I mean, left back, it's fine until you lose that first person, and then you're like, oh crap, now the shields are down, we can't lose anymore. Center back, I love Chad and Kihi, but I really want them to rotate Torres in, A, to keep him happy, B, just to get fresh legs constantly, because I think we're just going to burn them out, playing must-win games from May through the rest of the year is got to be stressful for everybody.
I thought we could have done better too. If Jordan gets injured again or Victor, he's got a bad history. We need somebody up front, like a winger that can produce somebody else instead of trying to push up. What is it, Dellum? They're trying to push up there. Or
Dellum,
somebody, is somebody that would actually, could establish themselves like either on the bench or be part of the first 11. Just somebody better, some more depth on the bench.
Well, what do you think about Dalton, Chris?
He started S2. I would like to think he is probably going to start eventually, maybe not full time this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Sounders front office would love that. I'd like to see a little more, but he's, still probably 22 or something.
Mm-hmm.
He got time.
He's fine. He's going to play under Svensson and Roldan anyway, so we don't need him to be a world beater yet. But
So
maybe in a
you would
couple
say
years.
he's our third CDM?
Probably, yeah. And probably like midfield depth, just wherever subs are needed for injuries or whatever.
Moving up the field a little bit, another young player, Hendwala Buana. Is he living up to the hype?
Well, he's the one that would have too much pressure on him. Yeah.
I think he is. Depending on what we want to do, he would be under probably Ship, and Ship is under Rodriguez
Yeah, I think so.
as far as the depth. But at the same time, we saw put Ship up top, as a forward. He is a forward on the roster as far as his position, but he usually plays left mid.
Yeah, his penalty he took last game of last season was pretty cool, man. For a young kid, he was really composed.
Oh, we're talking about one. I thought it was a Ship. No, but yeah. You're talking about against Portland.
Yeah.
He just I just walked up there and
He was ice cold, dude.
slow roller.
But he's young too, so if he were to get a long stretch of games, people would put a lot of pressure on him. A lot of expectations.
If he's playing every week, something has gone awry.
Yeah.
And not that I love him and I want him to score 1 million goals, but if he's starting 25 games, somebody is hurt.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
Well, that's hardly an unlikely scenario this year, right?
yeah, that's true.
There's going to be some injuries. It happens, and
Quad died.
I think a lot of our depth concerns are around that. If we have key players that are getting hurt, if Brad Smith leaves and then Nuhu pulls a hammy,
Or gets sold.
or whatever. Kelvin Leardom yesterday, he got red carded, and as soon as we lost him, there's almost no.
We're playing
There's
down a
nothing
man,
happening,
and they put Ship up front. They brought Roldan to right back.
Yeah, and if we end up in a situation where we do have an injury to, are we going to be second guessing with the 2020 hindsight, and saying, "Gosh, in that transfer window, we should have picked up Kendall Waston. We should have picked up 100 other people that were." We're in the stream every time somebody buys a player, transfers a player. Nate from Tacoma was like, "God, why are they doing that? Why didn't we? We should have got rid of Torres in November and picked up blah blah blah."
No,
blah.
should have got yeah. In
In November, yeah. I mean,
I'm thinking a little like it's starting to sink in. I'm listening to a whole bunch of different podcasts and getting different perspectives, and it wasn't until listening to I think the Cooligans, Martino was on there and late in the show.
Kyle?
Yeah,
Okay.
they were talking about pro rel and whatnot, and it just came down to like right now the MLS business model is bring in more teams and spread that 100 million to everybody. Eventually, and that's maybe that's why Garth is like two steps ahead, thinking eventually this money's going to stop coming in, so we have to be able to be self-sustaining.
Yeah.
That's why the kids are going to, we're going to have a plethora of sub $100,000 salaries, and we're going to be competitive with that. Mm-hmm.
We really, and we probably can be, and that is a good model, a development model with a bunch of kids and having. I got other booze too, if you want it.
I'm on call.
Oh, okay.
Can you have your rice?
Yeah.
He wasn't offering. He's like, hey, throw me some of that ice, man. Red Bull ain't gonna chill itself.
I didn't mean for it to come out like that.
Sorry, dude. It's fine.
Shit, what was I saying now?
Sorry, dude.
No, you're good. Plant.
I saw his horn. I was like, oh, I haven't. It's been a while since I've had a goat on there. All right, so I think the whole idea is
Oh, well, but
eventually we're going to get too big. We're going to have like 60 teams.
I have trouble with that, and I mean the next big huge exactly, and the next big huge thing that everybody kind of keeps hyping is some sort of partnership for like a North American Super League of some kind, right? And it's not going to happen. There's no way. But
They
like
just
that's
want
what
the
people
money,
are
that's all they
talking
want.
about, and that ultimate that forever expansion model doesn't really work. I don't know that there's enough allocation money in the pool to get what we want and to actually end up with more than a couple of teams having, it's the Yankees model, right? More than a couple teams actually having the wherewithal to get somebody that actually makes a difference. I think it's hilarious that Zlatan is like not a difference maker for LA. It's fucking hilarious, but
You're wrong.
But you think I can be wrong? But
He came in the summer and was like getting a goal a game.
but he didn't win. Like they didn't win this year.
They,
and then,
they were giving up 2 goals a game. He was scoring
Exactly.
difference maker.
So
my
it
goodness.
makes a difference, but not enough of a difference to make up for an absolutely awful team.
Yeah, they have to reconstruct that. Man.
My point being, like, is money enough? Is it reasonable to talk about parity as a problem, not a solution anymore? And is it reasonable to and this is, I'm sure, stuff we'll get into this year, but I mean, it's interesting. Like, this team has not got anybody this team has not made a significant off-season signing in how many years? And it's frustrating to us, but at the same time, why should we expect them to do anything different? Because it's the pattern they've established. Management hasn't changed. Ownership hasn't changed. And maybe you're right, Tim. Maybe we're looking at a new era where we're just going to try to get by with what we can. But I also have trouble thinking Garth is playing like 9-dimensional chess.
You
right?
literally stole the comment out of my mouth. Are we going to give Garth credit for playing 4D chess when everyone else is assuming playing checkers? His model is he wants the youth to rise up and not really have to make big signings, because those are problematic in a lot of ways. But pretty soon we're going to need to start to see the academy kids producing.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, we're going to be, and
it's
nobody FC.
It's early yet, but
Oh yeah.
At the same time, that's the rub. If somebody is good enough to contribute, then they're going to sell them off for a significant profit, because I don't know what they're paying them now, but I'm just thinking, like, what do we do? We're not going to buy Yedlin back, but if one of these kids, let's start. Do you know much about the academy? Are you kind of?
Not really. I mean, not more than.
How do we get? Are they all local kids? Or are these kids from out of town? How does that work? Who can we bring into the show that can say, hey, these 15 and 16-year-olds are at host families, and they're living in like the mother-in-law apartment, blah blah blah, and like where do they come from?
Well, the part of the problem is they're kids and can't really talk a whole lot about
Well,
kids.
I don't need to know where you live. I don't
Sure,
need to know your
but I
address,
mean-
but I just want to know curiosity. How does this whole thing work? Is Henderson scouting, youth clubs in Florida or whatever just to bring a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid here? Like, hey, mom and dad, can we rent you an apartment and then, maybe find you a job at the mall while your son works at, I don't know. Like I said, I have no freaking idea how this works. Are they all local kids? I don't know.
Corn dog on
I
a
said
stick.
6'5" and picking that is not.
How did Alfaro end up here?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know how the.
So no, he's Mexican. He's Mexican.
Yeah,
nationality,
well-
right? So, but did he?
You're Mexican. You're here.
No, I mean like and the Sounders. That's what I mean. Like, with the academy, because he
Rob,
came in
Now,
for the academy. right?
No, I mean, I don't know if you meant like,
No, I don't
did
know
he
if he-
immigrate up here
Yeah.
where we're
No,
sending scouts into?
I'm saying his youth like playing years were spent in Mexico and he came to Seattle, or he grew up in Seattle and joined the academy. And
Yeah, I don't even know if
I know
he's
he's in Guadalajara now.
he's-
So.
he's
That's a
old
big
enough
change.
that he probably wasn't an academy player. He
knows?
probably just came here maybe on a like an S2 or Sounders.
Yeah, that's
like,
exactly what I'm saying. Like, how was he brought over here?
reserve
Or was he already
contract.
here? So yeah, who knows?
None of us know.
I don't know, but I know who will probably know. Beth Mantle of bread fame on the Twitters.
Okay.
She would know.
All right.
There's your expert right there.
Then we'd have to have Brett on the show.
Yeah.
And
How old
I'm,
is she?
I'm low carb.
She's like 19-ish.
Sure.
As long as she's age of
She's like
majority,
18,
I don't care.
right?
I mean, she's at UW, so 18,
Yeah,
19.
yeah, would have to be. Okay. Well, I mean,
We'll edit that
you
out.
know, we'll,
No, but you're 100%
Cue the
right.
go.
I'm curious how things. I mean, I love the inner workings, and I just want to know everything about everything. Like how do we get kids here? Then,
Well-
do they all come from different parts? I mean, are there kids that drive out
We have-
daily from Yakima?
we have a regular contributor to the show, Kevin Zamira, who did some youth coaching and has some insights to that. We also have Shannon Matthews on the show from time to time, who has his perspectives. That's how I'll frame that. And love them both, and I'm sure that they could get us connected to some folks in those organizations. Heck, we could get Leaview on here again, and I think he's doing some premier youth coaching again.
perfect.
So
Still working.
Maybe it'd be great to have him on. He's Leaview Bird. He's the former coach of the Kitsap
yeah, yeah.
Pumas. Yeah, he was on the show last year,
R.I.P.
shortly before the Pumas collapsed. Yes, very sad story, because any story where soccer's not thriving in a part of the Sound is a bad story.
Just give them to Lane. They'll be the Tacoma Stars Peninsula.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
okay.
indoor outdoor stars. Yeah, why not?
That'll be the
not?
U23s.
That'd be a lot of fun. How did Landon jumping out? How did Landon Donovan do with the
San Diego.
Sockers?
I don't know if he's played yet. I haven't
okay.
seen
They
him.
had it was Landon Donovan night at the Stars.
Yeah,
Did that already happen?
Yes.
yeah, last week.
How it went.
Did he
I
play
don't-
them?
I don't know.
I know
was
we got
San Diego?
beat. We got beat by a ton. We roll out the sixth attacker, and then people just forget to score.
Remember that team? What was that team?
They
that
play
was-
tonight. They're playing
Yeah.
Dallas tonight.
Yep. And I'm gonna
Tickets available.
try to make it maybe, because I told Stacy I'd give her my my S2 postcards so that the team can mail them back home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Stacy Maddox.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a
yeah.
photographer
Facebook
and Facebook fame. Yep, runs the Facebook S2 page. So fan page. All right. What else we have to talk about today, gentlemen? Any burning questions? Any, like,
Defiance.
who should we have picked up in the off season? If you were running the show, is there a particular player that you really think we should have had that we should have taken a shot at?
Should have taken Freddie.
Take a picture. It was so sad not seeing him come
Where
back.
did he end up going?
We had Freddie Watch. He came
Back to
Vancouver,
Yeah, back to Vancouver.
That's lame, dude.
Yeah. Did they have better rights than we did? We ended up selling Freddie, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
sold Freddie to Portugal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sporting.
And then, did he go to China after that?
He went to
I think-
Colombia, didn't he? He stopped in Colombia first.
He's in Portugal.
I thought he might have gone
the
to
whole time.
China.
I thought he was at FC Porto.
Yeah.
And then
or
back, I
He
don't
played
know.
in Portugal. He went to BWFC and then I think went back to Portugal and now is back at BWFC. I think.
Okay.
You want to Wikipedia it? Who cares?
Yeah, no, who cares?
See the back of his card.
It's not like anybody's like trying to correct us or anything.
Well, at any rate. So yeah, it would have been great to have Freddie Montero back. I think
Where
we
would
were
we-
fantasizing about that for a hot 20 minutes before it.
No, he wouldn't have. There was
Got
no
it.
place
What
for
would we
him. There was
see?
no
That's
place for him.
what would we have done with him? I'm trying to figure out.
That's a good question. So he's
Like, our starting
primarily
11
a
is
left
fucking
left
balls.
side attacking player, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's generally done in the past. So, I mean, would Rodriguez turn into Freddie Montero insurance? What does that look like? Could we have used him?
That's the rub is the I mean, right now as the team's constructed, we've got speed on the left and we can use speed on the right with Morris, and then we
And
can
Ludum. Layton's pretty quick, dude.
yeah, he wouldn't. No.
All right. Just,
We'll see.
I mean, making those connections.
I'm not impressed with Leardom. I was the first year, and then
Okay.
the long throw was like, hell yeah! And then since then, it just seems,
Well,
for
he's
me,
had
he
some-
seems to have fallen off my,
Okay. We'll keep an eye on him this year.
yeah. But like I said, Morris can bomb down, and we've got the trio of the 5-footers, the Rodriguez, the Rui Diaz, and
Ladero,
Nico.
yeah.
They can play. And there's 3 of them now, so it could be the Clinton, Oba, and Shemp, deal where they can play the onesie twosies, and you can't sit there and kick them because then there's guys like Brad and Morris. All you have to do is roll it out into the corner, and they're gone. So the little guys. 1-2 can pass it past your Kendall Wastons and Roman Torres if he's on the opposite team, and then like the goal that we scored the first goal was the first goal that we scored, where Jordan Morris shakes a guy off, goes flying by, and then takes it to the end line. Rui Diaz takes his defender to basically the goal line. The ball comes back out to the 6, and Rodriguez just buries it. So we could do that all day. But do we have, what do we need? Like I said, our starting 11, I love. Where do we have, could we bolster a couple bodies? I would love for Brad Smith maybe to play some, if he could be a better defender, great. Or if we could just spend a couple more minutes with Nuhu, maybe.
Sure.
Teach him some
Do
good
some
crosses.
crossing, couple touches. Everyone gives him
Nuhu's
crap for his
settling.
defender.
I mean,
I love his
crosses.
defense. I know he does some extreme,
and a good
CrossFit
defender-
kind of moves, but
A good defender on the left-hand side is a good thing to have, but somebody that has the ability to make a really fantastic counter or
cross.
just transition
Just a-
into an attack is huge. A great cross into the box.
Even
like
an
Roger
early
said.
cross,
Yeah.
like Jovan Jones style, just cross it early before they even, just
Before they can even rally. around
have
the-
a runner and just
Yep.
like Jovan used to, he was great at that, and he could penetrate too. He'd get to the byline, dribble back into 6, and put it right there for somebody.
Jovan, if he had just a little bit more cojones, he could take people on. But most of the time he'll go down there and then just kind of wait for people, and then it didn't always work out. But if
Yeah.
you would take a guy like Buana loves. He's
takes up-
fearless
he takes-
right now.
but
He's
Jordan-
a kid.
Jordan yesterday, that's why I thought he was moving too far forward because it didn't look like there was anybody there. He's like, hey, you got no support. Like, why are you pressing that high? You're just going to get it. You might win a corner, but
Well, and that was one of the things
and
that-
that's one of the things that happened a couple of times. But and so I guess it is a high percentage play if you have confidence that somebody's going to get in there like Rodriguez did. But anyway,
So if we had like remember last season we had a center back crisis kind of. Was it that we had like 2 center backs left? Like I think a couple players were hurt. So what if we had a center back hurt and let's say Gustav had to slide back to center back, and then who's gonna replace him in center mid?
Dellum.
Just roll down.
you
Dellum.
said Dylan.
Well, and that was the thing that was the worst part about preseason. Like you're starting maybe 2 or 3 starters, and then you're putting people in like the Jurgen Klinsmann. Those just make them really uncomfortable. Like you had Svensson and Svensson and Delmore are center backs, I think. I was just like, you're asking for it. And then when we did get, trying to think of when we got scored on. Which I don't know which game it was, whether it was Portland or Houston or whatever. Just there's no chemistry. What was the game before?
Hop up, buddy.
San Jose.
Towards the end of the season.
Yeah, preseason.
Preseason. Oh, shit, Portland.
Was it Portland?
No, we played here against Nacional.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just watching. I don't know. The back line against Nacional, it was weird. They didn't know. Like Jordy stepped up, and somebody else took a really bad angle, and they just slipped the ball up the middle. And like,
how do you feel about Johnny Campbell? Johnny Football.
He's a good-looking dude, but
that's not very convincing, huh?
he hasn't. It's the equivalent of.
He feels insecure.
She good-looking? Oh, she's nice.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm asking.
He seems a little bit insecure, like nervous.
You're right. It's a new team.
Comfortable on the ball.
Yeah, I'm not gonna yell at him on Twitter yet.
Well, yeah, no. I mean,
We'll leave that to LT Gray. Just give him a couple of pops and like. So yeah, it's too soon.
No, but he seems like whenever how they're defending and end up with the ball like either in or around the box, he just seems uncomfortable. You see the guys kind of make turns, look around, see who they either hoof it out like up the field or give it to somebody, and he seems to get nervous and either kicks it out.
Yeah, there was one of the goals.
it.
We gave up a goal, and I want to say maybe it's Houston or something. Just came from a pass out of the back that didn't reach its target, and then they were right back down our throats.
Yeah, like really unconvincing clearances.
That's where you have to chalk it up to. At this point, too early to tell. It's preseason.
Yeah.
He's young. He's tall. He's got
Keehee has some really, really iffy games at this. His first 2 games, and then he's one of the best center backs that we have.
Yeah, that's one where like it's preseason, but I just wish that we could find a way to get the subs minutes without taking them away from our starters, so that our starters are prepped for game 1. I don't want Cincinnati to come in and sneak one in like LA did last year.
Yeah, it would have been nice to settle some nerves if we would have seen them a little bit more, more compact, more dynamic. I guess they were just a little rusty and kind of weird, a little slow pace. But hey, like you said, it's preseason, so we'll see. I think we're gonna smash Cincinnati though.
I hope so, but
At least 3. Put 3 past them.
We'll talk a little bit about that on our next show.
I've got so many gifts ready for that.
What, for Cincinnati?
Yeah.
WKRP.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Les Nessman with the turkeys flying out of the helicopter.
What was the deal with them
Oh my
not
God.
getting it? That when they were promoting their first home game, they kept saying the first ever MLS game. And
It's because I think the official word was they didn't want to promote a game that wasn't at their stadium. I believe was the official word.
But it's their first game.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what they said.
Same with the 10-year anniversary and the 11th year.
Oh God.
Oh,
that
jeez.
is
Can we
conver-
stop talking about that already?
No.
It's
Let's
like you
talk
said,
about
you're
it.
not 10 till you're 10.
Yeah. Or,
It feels weird, but yeah, it's. Yeah, but
I'm
it is.
turning 40 in my 41st year on Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, soccer's already doing that. They've done that from day one. Like, oh, the goal was in the 72nd minute. No, it said 70 and 23 seconds. Okay. Or 71st minute.
what was it?
minute.
2011. Arsenal celebrated the 125th year anniversary. So they were from 1886. Yeah. So it's the same thing as the whatever.
Like preseason games. Does it matter?
Yeah.
to me, no.
No.
I just want to win. We haven't. We got such a sour taste in our mouth the way things. It was a great game against Portland, but we lost to Portland. It was Portland. If it was
Yeah.
any other team,
Yeah, that was bad.
we could have lost to the Patriots, and then okay.
Especially the way they celebrated in front of us. Yeah.
Fuck.
They
Where,
all came
my
over here and
seats.
did that. I mean,
My
they were
seats
like
are
feet
right.
away, feet from us, man. They were
Yeah.
just doing that thing, the stupid shit they do with
Yeah.
Feed Me
He likes
and
corn
Valentine,
pops.
dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
Zurich.
that was so bad, dude.
Obviously, I don't ever want to lose to them, but that game had to end. Like,
At some point. That was
I mean, it's like ending a baseball game on a home run
so
derby,
difficult.
but yeah,
They look beat, dude. They were.
yeah, I was beat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, had to go to work after that.
Yeah, there's
I
like
might have. I don't know.
like extra time, and then like just the hope that everybody had, and just the complete
Yeah.
deflation after, and it was not a great
Well, it
feeling.
was stressful
Well,
till about the
It's
84th
as
minute.
bad as that was as bad as losing to LA in the conference championships in like what was it 2012 or something.
is that the year we won the Shield?
Yeah, we won the Shield, but LA won the conference.
We won the Shield, and
It's the
then
year
they beat
before.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, well, this is winding down, ladies and gentlemen, but just wanted to do that test stream. I think things are sounding pretty good. Let us know in the comments. Shout out at Flounders B Team on Twitter, floundersbteam.com. Yeah, goat screams, all that, whatever you want to provide. If you think we need more goat screams or fewer goat streams, please let us know.
Goat streams.
Goat streams, woo! Screaming and peeing
I
on
watched the
your
whole thing,
microphone. What?
I watched the whole
Hey,
thing.
thanks, buddy. Appreciate
He's
that.
the only one that's watching.
Yep. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much, Tim Hamilton, perennial guest host, or perennial host, co-host, and Rod Gooner, of course.
I'm on.
Thank you, friend of show, and Away Days Chris. Cheers. Thank you so much for listening. Flounders B Team is a production of Channel 253. You can listen to other great podcasts like Taco Man. Taco Man will be coming up here pretty shortly, actually. March 25th. We're going to be recording a show, I believe, and the illustrious Taco Man will be looking at more taco joints in Tacoma. So watch out for that great content. Once again, listen to Nerd Farm Pod, new show coming out this week, talking a little bit about about philosophy and history and stuff that's a little above our heads here at the Flounders B Team. But
little too
also
highbrow.
listen to, it is a little highbrow for us, but listen to Interchangeable White Ladies. Move to Tacoma is occasionally occasionally working. They're on a little bit of a hiatus. We also have the We Art Tacoma, which is a great new show. Citizen Tacoma with brand new host Candace Rudd, who does really great journalism and loves to say the F word. So, cheers to you. Thank you so much for listening to the Flounders B Team podcast. Thanks for watching our inaugural show here.
I was born
Okay.
I'll turn it down.
by the
A change is going to come.
A change is going to come. Please do check it out. On March 2nd, we will be doing this exact thing, hopefully a little prettier, but live from Black Rock Spirits in South Downtown. That's right, Sodo, Washington. Sodo, Seattle, Washington. So we'll be doing a live show with a number of Cincinnati supporters, a number of Sounders supporters. Hopefully a couple of these guys will be here as well. And we are going to have a great time ripping into this new team and getting a feel for what everybody thinks is going to happen this year. We're really excited for this year ourselves. Got a lot of energy, a lot of great ideas for good shows, some journalistic stuff, and just what you've come to be used to here at the Flounders B Team, which is ridiculousness at every single level.
This is what's happening right now is painful because the rest of us, it's like when you told a girl you don't like her, but you still have to sit through the rest of dinner.
Yeah.
Well, that's your first
difficult.
mistake. You say that at the end.
Like, do you want to go out again? No, I don't like you like that. But then you still
We
have
can
to
finish
sit.
dinner. I already paid,
Jesus.
yeah.
No, we don't want dessert.
That's why you don't ask somebody to marry you when you're like on vacation in Hawaii. It's a
Yeah,
very
no,
painful
that's
ride
bad.
home.
Yeah,
That's
no
tough.
proposing at
Oh
the
my
baseball game.
god,
That's tough, dude.
fuck that.
Well, thank you for having patience and listening to our spiel here and promoting our show at the end. Everybody turns it off at this point anyway, but it is de rigueur, as they say. Thank you so much for listening. Cheers. Have a wonderful year, and we will see you.
And I say, brother,
It's too late.
help me, please.
We will see you in the terraces, boys and girls. Have a good one.
I need to expend the vocab, dude. I keep getting